Hi there, thank you for joining me on the water again. It's another beautiful day here in southeast Queensland. We're back to the great regular weather patterns. The La Nina event is over officially apparently, and we're back to our regular weather patterns, which we see westerly winds in the morning blowing offshore, keeping me cool. That's why I'm rigged up with my wetsuit top here. Normally the winds drop off about 11 a.m, 12 noon. They haven't yet. I'm hoping that they will to make my trip back a nice smooth one. Otherwise you're beating into the westerly winds. It's not a lot of fun. But I'm out here snapper fishing. It's that time of year. It's June, end of June actually, and there's lots of snapper about. They're not super easy to catch. Sometimes you've got to mix up your techniques, which I have been doing today, and I'll show you that in the video in a second. We have a bag limit in Queensland, which says our fish have to be over 35 centimetres, which I normally don't take anything under about 40 because they're really just not worth it in terms of fillet. But it's supposed to be 35 and you can have 4, and that's fine. 4 is quite a bit of fish for a couple of people. That'll give you 2 to 3 meals easily. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to mix up the techniques a little bit. I'll use a combination of soft plastics or soft baiting, jigs, slow pitch and normal, metal slice type jigs, and of course bait, dead bait, pilchards, the humble old pilchard, which is the perfect bait for snapper. I'll show you those rigs later on, and I'm going to see what I can do right away, put some lines out, and I'll catch you later. That's good, isn't it? I might be a convert. Looks like a decent fish. Oh yeah. Be the 40s. There we go. There's about 40. One in the bag. Oh. Other snappers, I hope. Whoa. Who knows? Oh, it's a nice one. Half handies. There we go, another reasonable snapper. Nice healthy specimens. Just on the 45 centimetres. But that's the jig that I've been catching the snapper on. It's a missing at sea haymaker, I think, from memory. So it's been pretty effective with the snapper today. It's about the first time I've ever caught anything on it. I've used them, now and again, and not done very well, but snapper are liking me today. Still cold. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. This one's pulling a bit of string. Have I been sharked? Oh, it's just a big fish. Man, this one's a bit bigger. Whoa, good fish. Get some line back. He had a big dig, but he couldn't make it. It's coming up now. That was a huge dig he had. Oh, there's a shark on it. That's what it was. That's what happens. Sharks. Yeah, just using a simple double hook rig today. No gangs, just, well, 2 hooks but not ganged up, so that seems to be working okay. Yeah, snapper will bite a few different types of things, so I guess the main technique is to waft it down. You don't want the sinker to be too heavy to drive it to the bottom. You just want to let it waft down through the water column. And that seems to be the way that you attract most snapper. So this time of year, it's currently end of June and it's snapper season, snapper fishing season. There's a lot of boats out today. The ramp was really busy at 5 a.m. this morning. And look, there's a number of ways to catch snapper. If you're a beginner to this, many ways, and it depends on the depth. You might want to try different techniques depending on the depth. The 3 ways, I guess, that there's more than probably 3 ways of doing it, but the 3 ways, the most popular, I guess, in some places is the old plastic, the soft baiting or soft plastics. They're very popular. Jigs work really well too, sometimes when the fish are biting. I've had a bit of success on this jig, actually. And of course the good old bait, and what I'm doing today is mainly using pilchards for bait, and I've rigged up a simple snelled rig where I've got a hook snelled at the top and a bottom hook down. Obviously that goes through the head of the pilchard, the top one, and then the tail is on the bottom. Running ball sinker, a very light sinker. This is about, I think, a size 1 or 2 ball sinker. It's a size of a little bit bigger than a pea, weighs very little. But the idea is just to have enough weight to let the bait waft down through the water column. And that's really the technique, is dropping it to the bottom. You'll get bites and you'll probably catch fish too, but you'll find that you'll get some better hookups and better bites if it's slowly presented to the fish as it wafts down through the water column. The reason for that is it looks very natural and it's coming down like a bit of dead fishes dropping down, and the fish's eyes on the top of their head, they're looking up and they see something coming. If they're hungry, they're more likely to go for it. So that's been working for me. The other thing I do is you can obviously use a spin reel or an overhead reel, or in my case I've been using my jig reel. There's a couple of reasons why I really like the jig reel. First of all, it's light and the rod is very short. It's got a very flexible tip, but it's also got a lot of backbone on it. As you've probably seen me catch some big fish on this. This is a grappler type J and it's a PE4, so it's got a very soft tip, so the snapper can actually run up and down and it'll still hold on to them. But it's also got a lot of backbone if you do actually catch a big fish. So I like that. But look, the other thing that's really good about it is that it has a quick release, so you can drop the line down and then you can thumb it as it goes down. So as it's dropping down, you can be thumbing the spool. And the reason that's really good, and why I like it, is that when a fish grabs it, I can actually be feeling it as it's wafting down. I can feel the line going out. As a fish grabs it, suddenly the spool will accelerate, of course, as the fish swims off. And all I have to do is just engage the reel by just winding it. So I can actually break the fish if I want by putting my thumb on it and then winding it, and it'll engage the winder and hook the fish up. The other thing you might have noticed is my hooks are actually circle hooks. You don't have to use those, but I like circle hooks because the fish are going to grab the bait. You're sort of half letting them run, and as soon as you put a bit of a tension on it, that should automatically hook without having to, do a big, what do you call them? You don't have to strike at the fish. Fancy me forgetting that. So you don't have to do any striking of the fish. So that's why I really like it. this circle hooks, running ball sinker, wafting down, jig reel. Now, of course, spinning reels are good too, and the difference is you can have a bait runner reel, which you can actually, the bait runners you actually engage to it. You've got pretty much the bail arm which releases the spool, but you also have a control on how fast that spool can unspool. So you can set it so that a fish can grab the bait and then it can run, and then you can engage it a little bit like my jigging reel. So it's sort of similar in concept, that you can see the spool go, the fish is running, and then you can engage the reel. If you haven't got a bait runner, of course it still works fine on a spinning reel. A lot of the good spinning reels don't have a automatic engage for the bail arm, so you've just got to remember to very quickly snap the bail arm over. The technique's called float lining for snapper, and you could also use that on all sorts of demersal fishes. We do that sort of technique if we go to the barrier reef and we're on the reef. We'll actually try to waft a bait down, and things like coral trout and other species, again, are foraging, looking for gifts from heaven, so to speak, and a wafting bait is a very attractive thing for those fish. So hope that helps you if you're a beginner. Obviously there's some experts out there who've been snapper fishing a lot longer than I have. Put your comments down below, tell me what I've forgotten, and I'd like to hear from you. Oh, come on. I want a bit of thread, this one. Might be a little bit bigger. Whoa. A good one. It's a really good one. That's a good one to cap off the day. Good size. Let me measure it. That's a beauty. I'm really happy to get that one. Finish up the day. Just over the 60 centimetres. Beautiful. Well, I think that's about it for me. It's getting on the afternoon now. I've been out here for 11 hours. And that last snapper capped off the day nicely, so I think I might head back. I've got about an hour's travel. Oh, the weather's pretty good now, so probably less than an hour, 50 minutes from here. Thanks for joining me on the channel again, and I'll see you next time.